Okay. Yeah. Well, we just had a little graphics card issue there. I just said like my graphics card is, sorry, reset or something or froze. So yeah, I guess there's that. Wait till I can see my stream working properly before I go into this too far. Okay, yeah, it does look like I am currently streaming properly. Alright, so I guess back where we left off. Just pretend it didn't happen. So many computer issues every fucking time I do this. And now that Nemo's pretty confident that he's not being cheesed. Oops. Sorry. And I did it again. Oops. Sorry. I'm trying to set the hotkey to a different thing, but I guess I'll just try to do that later. Never mind. And yeah, nothing really consequence happening at the moment. Manny is getting some more barracks up, and he didn't grab any fast gases after this, so that generally means that you're going to try to play a very defensive game. Just kind of hold back with these Marines and hope that they can defend you while you get up your 3rd CC or go into a factory and starport. And we got a little worker brawl going on here. I don't think that probe's going to get out of here, but can it kill that probe? Nope. So finally getting his gases up, so he will start transferring into a normal game. Gonna get stim eventually. Once one of these barracks is done producing a marine, I imagine we'll see a tech lab drop. And going to get up his factory and his starport. These are all going to be fairly delayed, but that will be at the benefit of Manny's economy and also a larger marine count. So he's opting to go for a factory very quickly. Going for that faster factory as opposed to getting a quicker stim is a move I like. I find getting the stim a lot quicker generally leads to a lot of sticky situations where you don't really have out any factory units in time to defend you. So normally a pretty good idea. I'm not quite sure what Nemo's doing. He does have a sentry on the map. Not really a unit you want out on the map, but looks like it was just in this rally. This is very unfortunate, actually. I don't exactly know how he killed that. He still can't get out. He needs to kill the gateway. Ouch. Generally don't want to have to kill 2 buildings to leave your base. But yeah, that's just unfortunate, I guess. So finally stim combat shields on the way. Manny's going to be in a pretty comfortable spot here pretty soon. And he has about 14 Marines out. So he can, buy enough time until he gets a couple Marauders out. And that's not normally something, I guess, like you hear people say is like buy time to get out Marauders. It's like, what the fuck is this? Like Wings of Liberty? But, yeah, just like getting a couple Marauders out because they have so much health. And versus Stalkers, they're so good. It's just such a, I guess, like pivotal point in the game. And it looks like Nemo might just be going for some small harass here, trying to pick away at the depots, maybe get that reactor. I actually love to see him go for that reactor, but it looks like he will be satisfied with the depot for now. There's a Widow Mine there. I'd love to see him actually try to fly that Phoenix over top of the Marines and trigger it, but looks like for now he's just going to be content with the depots, which I don't blame him for. It's a nice pressure build, and it can be very annoying, as we see. It has supply blocked Manny for quite a while. And, that's going to cause him to have to pull 2 SCVs and build new structures. And that can be a lot of minerals that you're kind of wasting because of that. And also, that's time he's not building any units. Like, look, his 5-unit producing facilities that can't make anything. 4 barracks on the way, and Stim's about to finish. So I really feel like Nemo needs to head home. Actually taking a huge Widowmine shot. Not really worth it for what he's accomplishing here. He just needs to head home and get a 3rd base up. But it looks like Nemo instead wants to keep building units and just put on the pressure. He does have a lot of gateways here. And oh my god. He's actually only on 1 base. I thought he was on 2 at least. What the fuck? This is going to be a huge pressure. You know, I definitely don't think there's anything that Nemo can do to transfer air to this. Like, you can't just build a nexus behind this. Like, he's been all in for quite a while. That pressure getting those depots is really good. Unfortunately, these Widowmine shots are huge, and Stim has finished. The Widowmine's going off on most of the adepts there, and the bio will come out, and it should clean up this 1 base all in here by Nemo. Okay. So, Manny taking that series. And, why is that the old picture? I guess it didn't save when it crashed. Okay. So, moving onwards in this group. Let's see who we got next. Okay, looks like we're gonna have Nemo versus Pure Blood, or Pure Blue Blood, sorry. So it should be a bit more even of a game, hopefully. Is this one done on the current patch? What the fuck? Alright, so down here in the bottom right hand side in the teal, we have our teal Protoss guy playing against the Protoss players playing Terran. It is pure blue blood. Huge slip of the brain, as one may say. And up in the top left we have in the blue playing the race that is not Terran, but he is spawning up here in the top left. He's also not playing Zerg. It is our Protoss player Nemo. A great way to do introductions. I think we've discovered a new casting standard. Someone please send this video to Rotterdam. Or Tasteless. Or Wolf. Or anyone really. Please. Okay, and looks like I'm just gonna call him Pure Blood. I think that's I like Pure Blood better than I like Pure Blue Blood. Or should we just call him Blue Blood? I'm just gonna call him Pure Blood. Alright, so we have here Pure Blood is just getting up barracks and getting, I think he went for a gas first. Yeah, he did. So probably going to be going into a very quick one-base tech to do some aggressiveness behind. And I keep hitting that fucking button. So I'm really liking, I guess, like the current meta that a lot of Terrans have been doing versus Protoss. I really feel like Protoss has, in, I guess you could say, like a no rush 20 game. I feel like Protoss tends to have a much easier time. Like in general, like I'm not like complaining or anything, but that's just kind of like how it tends to be. So it's really up to Terran to, you know, get them off their balance, to do something versus them, to, you know, cause their late game to not be the way they want it to be, right? You need to try to slip up your opponent. It's very similar in TVZ, how we see such constant aggression into Terrans. And it's not because it's like imbalanced or anything, it's just the way the game is. And I'm really liking all this like really early aggression that Terrans have been doing to Protoss. Especially since we see things like the Adept really dominate that like mid game. So Terrans really kind of have started to stray a bit away from that like mid game aggression and mid game kind of damage that they usually get done, and they're going really for like the early game and the late game. They're not really going for those mid game timings that they used to hit. And wow, the Reaper actually gets away after baiting it. Well, I guess like not baiting it, but escaping an overcharge there. And alright, so I'm not quite sure what this is going to be. It looks like it's just going to be a pretty typical mine drop. I had a Pure Blood here. Okay. Alright, and this Reaper staying alive is actually really big for Pure Blood, as it will allow him another scout and to hopefully try to come in here and see what's going on. He even gets another probe. I think that's the third one in this game. And not really a whole lot being built here tech-wise. Stargate did go up somewhere. I'm not quite sure what that is. It's over there. But Pure Blood did not get the scout on that. That was built after the Reaper left. But the Reaper still is alive, so it does have the possibility of running in there and, you know, trying to get some more damage. And Reaper's going to go up here, and that Adept will be able to kill it eventually. Nope, it gets away again. Really, Pure Blood doing a great job keeping this Reaper alive. Okay, and it looks like Pure Blood wants to head into more of a biotank centric style. I'm not sure what he's seen that would, you know, usher that in, but scan goes down somewhere. Who knows? Okay, there it is. Alright, so first two Widow Mines coming in here, and there's no pylons down here at this natural base other than that one. But it's not really in range, and a shit ton of probes go down. That's about 9 probes for 2 Widow Mines that have yet to be cleaned up. We don't have any detection on the map currently. There is an Oracle out here, but it's in the main base. Nemo kind of being a bit inactive with his forces at the moment. Probably pretty surprised, and I would even say pissed off about that Widow Mine drop. I mean, I would be pretty salty if I just lost 9 probes to 2 Widow Mines flying in my base. But these Adepts will come out here, and they should be able to get a decent amount of workers before Pure Blood is able to clear them up. I think even... Okay, never mind. With these SCVs help, these Marines will be able to clear up these Adepts, but still, a considerable amount of this... Sorry, SCVs dying there. Still, it's a hell of a lot more lost for Nemo, actually. It's 17 probes lost. I don't know where the other ones died. I think. Oh god, this Widow Mine's gonna get another hit off. That's another... Well, this one Widow Mine has 16 probe kills. What rank is he? Where's his rank? And Pure Blood's heading towards a pretty common, you know, bio-medevac, like mid-game army composition here. And that Reaper that was kept alive this whole game is still alive. I thought Pure Blood was going to stick with more of a tank-centric style, but it looks like he decided against it. Is going for that more common bio-mine. And it looks like Nemo is being a bit cheeky here and going to be going for 2 base carriers. Not really the greatest composition, I feel. I've seen a couple Terrans, or not Terrans, sorry, Protosses that do this style on like really turtley maps. but I don't think it's going to work out too well for Nemo in this game, especially considering this huge ball of terror that's at the front door. No stim actually on them, but it's a lot of Marines and Marauders, and there's a very scary ball of bio. The force field will go down, but still, these adepts don't have glaives, and they're going to have a tough time dealing with this force. And it looks like Pureblood's going to decide to drop some of his Widow Mines into the main, maybe? Oh no, I don't know. There's like a bird making a noise in the background in this game, and I thought that was like outside my house. He's actually going to drop the Widow Mines right on top of all the adepts. That's really cheeky. But this huge ball of bio, even if it's stim, is way too OP, and it's going to just kill all the Protoss units. And GG is called by Nemo. Pretty well played game there by Pureblood. His macro really shining in that game. Okay. Oops. Alright, so. Are we opening game? Yep, we are. And Pureblood did something by accident. Alright, that's funny actually. Down here in the bottom left, you have in the teal, it is pure blue blood. And up here in the top right in the blue, we have our Protoss player. It is Nemo. I can honestly say I don't think I've ever actually done that by accident before. Like, load all your medevacs into your CC. That's a new one. Normally I just like rally them all, or like accidentally move command them all somewhere. So it looks like Pure Blue Blood's gonna have to make up for that lost money time with his pure efficiency, I guess. Don't know what this probe's out here for. I could walk into the main if it wanted to. Alright, and yeah, looks like we're gonna have a bit of a pretty cheesy build here. So you see this factory going down. With a reactor coming out here in the barracks, I'm thinking it's just going to be like a cyclone push. Excuse me. Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking anyways. It's just going to be like some cyclone aggression. But we do have a probe out here that will be able to scout it. Assuming that Pureblood doesn't make any Marines to kill that probe first. I mean, if he walks up the ramp, he will see everything. Okay, yeah, it looks like that's what it's going to be. Oh, wait, no. Let's get in at some Hellions. I thought for sure this was going to be Cyclones. Is he going mech? Do we see some mech? Is he actually going Raven? Or not Raven, sorry, Cyclone Hellion and like TVP? Did he remember what race his opponent was playing? His first 4 Hellions are going to head across the map. And yeah, they should be able to get some damage done. There is a couple adepts out here. I don't know if there's a mothership anywhere. No. So if only these 4 adepts, these Hellions can actually do quite a bit of damage, and they roll up here. Not a lot of probes, sorry, in the natural base, so they're really going to need to move into the main base if they want to do any damage. But yeah, they do take a lot of damage from adepts. But still, I mean, any probe damage that they can find is definitely worth it at this point. And that's like at least 4 probes, 5 even going down there. Let's see. 9 probes in total, so that's a huge amount of probes lost for those 4 Hellions. And I definitely felt like those Hellions paid them for themselves. And that's not the only thing on the way here, as we will see our first Banshee on the way here. Cloak is on the way as well. And we don't have any detection on the map either. We do have a forge on the map, so that theoretically could be used to build cannons, but still, that's not the greatest of defense against a Banshee. And I really feel like Pureblood has this game with this Banshee follow-up. I don't think that Nemo really has enough units to be able to hold this off, especially considering he's only been building the depths at this point. This Banshee probably will just come in here and start killing probes and have really nothing to deal with it. A lot of probes going down already. Looks like Nemo's deciding to just head across the map and try to end it. And yeah, warps into Stalker just to have the Banshee cloak in front of him. All these probes are going to go down. There's nothing at all that Nemo can do about this. He doesn't have detection. He doesn't even have the units to kill it if he wanted to. And these adepts are going to shade up front here. Widowmine picks off one of them. Looks like they're going to try to poke up the ramp and do some damage. But oh no, the wall is down. That means these adepts could get in. And they are going to. They pick off one Widowmine before it burrows. Another one gets out. Huge connect on these adepts. A lot of shields going down. But I think if he just pulls the workers here, Pureblood should be okay. But these adepts are still very strong, and I believe they have glaives. So they're going to be doing a hell of a lot of damage. Really, Pureblood needs to pull his workers right now. This is going to be pretty annoying. There is still Widowmines though, so that is a help. And one goes off, gets another adept. The more go down, the better chances are, as I don't think Nemo really has the economy to replace any of them. But it looks like that Banshee will come back to defend. And with 2 command centers and mules, like, I don't think that there's going to be much of a fight here. But this is a close game. Nemo almost managing to get a win here, but doesn't look like he will be able to, as that Banshee is going to fuck his day up. And yeah, looks like that's going to be the last unit really on the map for Nemo. He has about 9 probes left. He might try to hold in here a bit longer, because he did kill a lot of SCVs, so. And he still has 2 bases up, but I guess GG is called. And it looks like Pureblood will take that series in 2-0. Or in a 2-0. I guess is, yeah. Okay, so now we're going into our last recorded games of this group. We're going to have Manipulation versus Pureblood. Okay, so we should be looking at the game now, and we do have down here in the bottom right in the red, it is our Terran player Manipulation. And in the less cold corner of this map, we have up here in the teal, it is Pureblood. Like on the higher graphics settings, I really feel like this map looks a lot warmer in the top of the map than it does in the bottom. Like, just look at the amount of snow and shit that we have coming in here, like all the fog and like mist or whatever you want to call it of the snow, like the trail of it or whatever. And then up here it's like completely clear weather. With just like a bit up here where no one really cares about. Oops. And Manipulation will scout his opponent off really quickly, but it looks like Pureblood does have a proxy in mind here. And Manipulation should know this because, you know, it's not like you ever command center first in TVT. And we have a single barracks down here. I don't see any other workers on their way, so I don't exactly know what Pureblood hopes to accomplish with one proxy barracks. It's going to be like a minute later than his opponent's. But anyways, we'll see what this what he has in mind here. Manipulation is getting into Reaper of his own. Okay, so I'm assuming this game is going to be mass cyclones. Like when I see a factory proxy beside a reactor like that, I always just assume it's going to be mass cyclones because cyclones are so like good when you mass them really early. And this could definitely be a build that catches Manny off guard. I mean, I've played tons of games against people that like proxy cyclone me, and I know it's coming, but it's still really hard to defend. You really need to prepare just right. And we'll see if Manny happens to prepare that or the way he should. I mean, he doesn't know what's coming exactly. He hasn't scouted it. It could be mass reapers for all he knows. Could be double proxy banshees on starports. This is the first time you've ever played this map, Manipulation. Or Manny, I guess. This map looks really nice. Like, I like the look of it, but it's just so awful to play on. And it will be proxy double cyclone. Does that lockout thing last forever now? Oh no, it just says 160 damage over 14 seconds. It's so awful. And meanwhile, we got two Cyclones going to try to bust their way up the ramp. They pick off a Reaper immediately, and if Manny's not careful, he could easily lose the rest of his units there. Luckily, those two Cyclones did get pretty damaged, but there's an SCV there to repair. Manny's bringing his own SCVs here soon, and he will have a Raven on the way, and I believe they do have enough energy to throw down a missile turret as soon as they are up. And those Cyclones really just doing a lot of damage, almost able to pick off Manny's own Cyclone. They were forced to drop the missile turret and try to get away here, but more Cyclones on the way. And unless Manny gets out, that's Shank as he does. Oh, really needs to position it right. That's a good spot for it to be in now. Gonna pick off one of the Cyclones. But this is still gonna be tough for Manny to hold. He can't let up for even a second, really. And Pureblood is in a pretty good spot. I mean, Manny's still on one base, whereas Pureblood, he's getting up his natural. So I mean, he could head home anytime he wants to, really, and he should feel okay. And he's even gonna sneak around through this back ice here, and I don't think Manny knows that's happening. A Banshee's starting to head across the map here for Manipulation, so we'll see if Pureblood can get out any units at home to defend this. Finally, he does clear that ice. 5 Cyclones are going to come into the back natural here. And I can just head behind the mineral line and start picking away at the SCVs. Manny has no idea about any of this. Actually targeting down that refinery. Kind of a mistake, but forgivable. Okay, so all of Manny's units come in now. These Cyclones are just going to start killing everything. Even going to pick off the Raven here with his not auto but the lock-on thing. And he might even be able to just hop right on top of these siege tanks as that one is unsieged. And they target down the siege tank really quickly. Might get the second one. Just barely gets it. But so many SCVs lost for manipulation. Meanwhile, his Banshee has done some work here at the main base, sorry, of Pureblood. But it's still, supplies are fairly even, and Pureblood still is mining off one base. And this is the More Minerals Natural, which is a great natural. More Minerals. His rap name. More Minerals. And eventually, with these Marines coming out, the Banshee can't kill everything. It does have 14 kills, but upon seeing this natural base, Manny should feel pretty poor, or, you know, pretty bad. He's getting a lot of kills here, though. So he's almost making up for the worker disparity, but there's still 10 ahead. And finally, that Banshee does go down. And Manny is still pretty broke. Doesn't really have that many SCVs, and he only has one command center, which only means one mule at a time and one SCV at a time. Whereas his opponent literally has double that, so I think this is going to be tough for Manny to really deal with. And these cyclones are just going to continue to pick off buildings, and GG is called. Manny gonna seed game 1 there to Pureblood. I would say that's definitely one of the biggest upsets we've seen so far. I can't really think of any other big upsets we've seen. I'm trying to look through everything now. I would say probably Fizbin beating Dutry was kind of an upset. And Fizbin beating Rabai. Fizbin really had a breakout performance in the qualifiers of this tournament. Aside from that, I think this probably be the biggest upset is a single game. But of course, it's not going to decide the series. It just takes a single game. Okay, so starting to load into game 2 here. Okay, so down here in the red, we have our Terran player manipulation. Actually down 1-0 in this series. And up here in the top left, we have in the teal, the proxy and Terran from last game. It is Pureblood. Now this is Abyssal Reef, a much more better macro map. It's probably one of my favorite maps of all time, actually. But just in this current map pool is just the macro map. I mean, the way the expansions are set up really isn't that great for proxying or cheesing, I find. I mean, there's a couple good spots, like just like kind of like down this path. You know, you can proxy some stuff and kind of sneak it into the main, especially if it's airborne, really quickly. But aside from that, I think it's definitely a map that's conducive to more macro-oriented play. So, also, you know, good mech map if Manny or Pureblood would want to bust out any mech in this series. This is definitely the map to play it on. But I don't think they will, as none of the other Terrans in our clan are fun. And it's just me and the Animal Mother that play mech, no one else. Your Logan does too, actually. So, you know, we got a couple of mech bros. Alright, so we have here kind of a difference in build choices here. We have Pureblood going for a more macro-oriented Reaper Fast Expand, and going to follow this up with a Factory, whereas we have Manny going for that Factory first. So he'll be getting the later expand for the benefit of having a bit more security in this game, and if he decides to, a bit more initiative. So Manny can really feel like he can do whatever he wants, really, when you go for this type of build. Just gives you a lot more aggressive options, but if you want to play, you know, your defensive macro game, Pure Blood's build is definitely what you want to go for. But Manny instead opted to go for a more aggressive build, which definitely does suit his playstyle a bit more, I find, as he is a very drop and aggression heavy Terran. First Reaper is going to head across the map, and we'll see what he encounters. And he does encounter another Reaper. It's at the top of the ramp, and Manny gets hit by a grenade, so he has to back off. And this game, Manny has decided to go for a Banshee. Gonna be going into Cloak as well. And Pure Blood not really prepared well for one. He doesn't really have as many Marines as you'd like out. Normally I find you want like 6 to 8 Marines to deal with a Banshee effectively. But he'll have probably like 6 or 7 by the time it comes. He is getting out a Viking luckily, but no eBay is up anytime, or coming up anytime soon. So that means it'll be limited to just what he can scan. And I hope he doesn't decide to mule anytime soon. And actually, Pure Blood is going to head across the map. And this Banshee will see everything. We'll pick away at a couple Marines. Cloak isn't done yet. So this is about half of its health there, but it might be able to pick off this tank actually. And Cloak will be finished in about 9 seconds, but oops, I don't think that's enough time for it to survive, and it will go down. I accidentally elbowed my mouse after I let go of it. Honestly, my observing is like the biggest thing I need to get better at. Looks like Pure Blood's going to go for the spot that every single Terran player goes for, where you see jump over here and kill the SCVs, but nothing over there. No CC. There is a Widow Mine actually up here, so that it might be able to pick off that Viking, and it does. So that'll be pretty bad for Pure Blood, as he won't have any air control, so it means it's going to have to back off. And I think there's a Raven somewhere here for Manny. Where is it? Oh, there it is. It's over here in the main. So you can see the benefits of Pure Blood's build, as he is about 35 workers ahead, even with you know, all the units he threw away. He's still in a pretty decent position in this game, and Manny's command center only now just finished. The amount of Widow Mines Manny's using is very interesting. Manny's going to head in here, and probably will get some SCVs here with this Raven. So these auto turrets do go down. Get a couple of kills each. Doesn't actually say on them. And they even killed that missile turret, which is pretty nice. It's a lot of damage done. And it looks like Pure Blood just wants to be a bit more aggressive now. Gonna just head across the map with these 2 medevacs filled with tanks. Although another Banshee does come in, and it also sees those units heading on the map. Missile turret was not down at the moment. This Banshee definitely could kill that tank. And he does pick it off. That's a really huge pick off. And Manny should be cautious. Luckily, he does have Widow Mines placed at strategic areas. So if these medevacs fly right over it, they definitely could die. But it looks like they're just barely going to avoid it, and they start flying right into the main base. They're going to drop right over here. And one of the Widow Mines does get triggered, and only one unit actually gets killed from those Widow Mines. Pretty unfortunate there for manipulation. Altitude does go down. It's going to start targeting down these tanks. And SCVs have been pulled, but that's still a lot of SCVs that went down there for manipulation. And he's only at 17 at the moment. So yeah, Manny's in a pretty rough spot now. Pureblood's very up ahead in workers and should be thrown down. Okay, he is thrown down to third CC fairly soon. As long as Pureblood just doesn't lose too many more units, I think he's in a great spot this game. And really needs to just keep making SCVs, as we do see him queuing up a couple, which is good. You always want to have SCVs making. Both players are actually getting pretty heavily supply blocked at the moment. Manny finally does clear his. But we don't see a third CC up here for Manny just at the moment. And I don't foresee one in the near future. And yeah, looks like Pureblood's just going to try to head in here. Unfortunately, these Widow Mines are actually going to be the bane of them here. Actually going down on pretty much all the units. And that's a lot of stuff that went down there pretty much for free. And yeah, Pureblood has a really good position on the bottom of this ramp here. You can just keep picking away at things. I'd really like to see him move over here. Of course, there's some Widow Mines up there that he doesn't really know about. Okay, so over here at the meanwhile, we do have this Raven dropping us some auto turrets, gonna get some kills. Workers have been pulled for a second, but they will go back to mining very shortly. And oh my god, this is luckily Pureblood didn't load those all in, or they would have died. But yeah, so that's a lot of units that Pureblood lost there, and he's banking up a hell of a lot of minerals, as you can see at the moment, up to about 1,200. Just so tasked as far as like things to do. He needs to put stuff there. He needs to float that over and make it. He needs to pull the SCVs and then put them back to mining. I mean, there's just so many things that he needs to be doing right now that unfortunately he's not doing. Trying his damnedest though. He's gotta, you know, warm up that multitasking. And a couple drops here for manipulation headed out on the map here. This is the first major aggression we've seen out of manipulation. We've seen that Raven and the Banshees flying a couple times, but that's just like light harass. That happens to do game-ending damage sometimes. But these drops will be the first huge commitment to aggression that we see from manipulation in this game. And they're coming in at a pretty defended position. Like if they drop right here, I mean, there's going to be 2 missile turrets done pretty shortly, and all the units are there unless they move away. All right, and he's going to do the I don't even know what to call that. I was trying to think of like a funny name to call it, but anyways, moving in there, gonna pick off a tank most certainly. But still, all the rest of the units are there, and they will be able to pick off Manny's drops, medevacs and all. That all flies to the top of the ocean to get choked on by some seagull or something. Fuck seagulls, honestly. But Manny is still in this. Really, Pureblood's biggest issue, I think, in this game is that he hasn't really completely saturated all of his bases, and he hasn't expanded more. He's like, the worker count's even despite the amount of shit Mandy's lost. Like, they look very, very even as far as supply goes. Another drop heading down here towards the third base. Not a whole lot to defend it. No real units in position. And he's not constantly producing out of these barracks, which is also a big problem. Alright, so a huge ball of bios moving in here. Going a bit too slow, I think. Like, if you knew what was actually there, I feel like if you send the Marauders in first, and then the Marines behind it, like, you can easily clear this, but of course he's too busy focusing over here, as we do have this huge ball of bio moving in here, and it looks like they will be able to clean up Pureblood's forces. His tank barely surviving, and he will be able to pick off the third base. Pureblood really needs to make a decision on what he wants to do with his forces that are at home, and he's going to lose his CC if he's not careful. Alright, another ball of bio comes in, picks off that tank finally, and he will secure his third base, but he's lost a lot of SCVs in the meantime. And really needs to scan into main and try to kill some of this stuff up here. I feel like he could definitely fly up into the main after he kills those. He only has 2 medevacs though, which is a big problem. And it looks like Manny knows about what he's going to do, and he decides to just drop right on top of everything. Units coming out everywhere, and it's going to force a lot of the tank fire onto different parts of the units. But this is Pureblood's chance. He might be able to run in here. Those siege tanks, they do way too much damage. There's not enough medevacs actually for Pureblood to heal up his forces. And he also doesn't have air control, so these tanks of Manny are getting off some free shots. He's going to try to drop in the main, but these forces from Manny are just here to counter them. Fortunately, his force from Manny not going to pan out so well, but still losing quite a lot of units here. And he just doesn't have enough healing power really to support these his fight here. These Marines are just going to start picking away at those units. And I don't think that Pureblood has enough Marines left to continue this assault. Gonna lose another tank, and even some more medevacs. Pureblood really, oh, this CC is gonna burn down. Probably not gonna ladder tonight. Oops. Let's see, 53 workers have been killed by, killed by manipulation, whereas 20 have been killed for manipulation, I guess is the proper term. God, that's a disgusting units loss graph. 80 Marines fully. Alright. So Manny's really just been barely able to hold on here with some really nice Widow Mine placement and tank placement. And Pureblood, unfortunately, not able to really make use of it. A big thing, too, is to note is that Pureblood just doesn't have enough medevacs to continue to, like, move his forces around. Whereas we see from Manny, he has a huge medevac count. And why this is important is obviously because... but you'd think this is important because, like, just the mobility that having a lot of medevacs offers you is so important, especially when you catch your opponent out of position. Whereas Pureblood just can't really deal with any, like, missteps from Manny because he doesn't have enough healing power and also the air power to move. Alright, a huge ball of bio coming in and it's going to try to pick off these tanks, but unfortunately just too much upgraded bio here for manipulation, and Pureblood's army is fended off, and it looks like he's going to have to retreat. Alright, so just barely able to win that little skirmish there. Pureblood's still behind in workers, and he hasn't taken another base yet, which, like, even though he's on 3 bases technically, I think is a big issue. Like, look at his main, he still has some minerals left he could mine there. It's only a bit. But, okay, finally is going to move that base out, which is a better suggestion. Might want to start moving this one out too, as he only has 3 patches left. And try producing some more SCVs is definitely what I would go for. Right, and another move out here by Pureblood, still really skimping on his medevac count. He actually doesn't have any of this army. And this is something I see a lot of Terran players kind of getting pigeonholed into, is they think they need these fighting units, but really what they need is some lastable units, because that's what Terran has always, well, not always been, but like mainly been about, is having these units that can survive for quite a long time. And when Manny has the ability to heal his forces and you don't, like, it's just a huge disadvantage for you. Even though these Liberators are very good, I'd much rather have 2 Medivacs here than 2 Liberators. Alright, then we see the push up here for Manny. He stims, he pushes through, he's going to kill all of these units whose tanks just don't do enough damage to this upgraded Force of Bio. As they do have +2 attack and +1 armor, whereas Pureblood doesn't have any upgrades for his Bio just yet. And eventually, that tank might die? I don't know. Right, there we go. Pureblood on 4 bases, which is pretty good. But still, he just doesn't have a big SCV count, and he also doesn't have the unit count anymore. His units were very weak versus Manny's Bio because of the upgrades going heavily in Manny's favor, and upgrades matter so much in Marine versus Marine. And it looks like Manny will be able to take a game in this series. But still, very solid TVT, I would say, out of Pureblood. I'm really looking forward to this next game. Okay, just loading back in here. Okay. Okay, and going into the last match of the series, and the last match for tonight, actually. As there's no other replays to cast from. As I think there was a couple walkovers in this group, which is unfortunate, but it happens. Oh my god, and that's actually really interesting, is the one game that Pureblood won off of Manny is the reason that he gets to qualify into the... Oops. Into the actual tournament. But anyways, down here in the bottom right, we have in a red, tying this series up, it is manipulation. And up here in the top left, showing some promising TVT in that last game, we have our teal turn player, Pureblood. Oops. Did I not? I always forget. This hotkey shit is, okay. This hotkey shit is, pretty difficult to remember. I'm not a very good person when it comes to, like, remembering things. So often... What the fuck is full screen? Full screen game. Yeah. Right, and looks like we have a proxy barracks here just scanned by Pureblood. And one at home as well, I believe. But it looks like both players have their lines towards that multiple Reaper style. We'll see how many multiples of Reapers there are. That's what I got for tapping out. And this is going to be a little Reaper v Reaper action. We'll see who has the better control here, I guess. I mean, honestly, like, forgetting to tab to the game during the intro isn't the worst thing that could happen. I once did, like, a game where, like, the fight was about to happen, and I accidentally tabbed back into, like, my cam. And everyone was like, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck, for like the entire battle. And then I tabbed out, I'm like, wait, what's everyone complaining about in chat? I'm like, oh. Some interesting Reaper paths. It looks like Manny's trying to find out where his hidden Reapers are. I'm not sure if he knows about it yet, but he did SCV Scout, and I think he's seen the other gas, so he should have an idea what's going on. Alright, and the first 2 Reapers meet here, and Manny is definitely going to get better into that trade. 3 shots versus 1. And will 2 damaged Reapers fight 2 full health Reapers? No. Alright, so this time it's 4v3. All the grenades going down there at once for Pureblood, which I think is not the greatest thing. One good Reaper actually going down there for Manny, not the greatest micro, I guess. It's hard for me to make these absolute statements, because I don't know anything. But Manny has lost a couple Reapers here. Pureblood actually losing, I think he lost 2 or 3 there at least. And now Manny has enough Reapers where he can just start killing all of Pureblood's Reapers. Looks like Manny now has reclaimed his micro title. And this is really unfortunate for Pureblood, because he needs this barracks to stay alive to produce Reapers, but at the same time it's gonna die. Some grenades going off there, but fortunately Manny ain't gonna take it, and I think Manny will definitely be winning this game, since 2x Reaper versus 3x Reaper just doesn't make enough Reapers. And if we look at our units lost tab, Manny's only lost 2 Reapers, which were at the start, and it did look kind of bad initially because he did lose, 2 of them pretty quickly, but he didn't lose 9 after that, so definitely I think Pureblood got a bit too aggressive early on there, and probably got a bit too greedy after killing a couple of Manny's Reapers. Maybe that was a little intentional. It might have just been a huge mind game for Manny to get Pureblood into, thinking too well of himself, and then, he's going to overstep his boundaries. But anyways, that's going to be a good game as Manny will advance into the All-Invitational. And that is all the games we have to cast for you today, so thanks for joining us. It hasn't been that long. I mean, my graphics card crashed an hour ago. So, but yeah, we've finished casting all the qualifying games. Hopefully I'll be able to cast all of the actual tournament games for everyone once those all get played. But anyways, thanks for tuning in everyone, and have a good night.